right result for tonight?
Yeah, I would say so. So pretty much we used, actually for the preparation of this game, we used more Bournemouth than Newcastle, to be honest, if I analyze, because I think last time when Eddie was here with Bournemouth, we won 2-1 there, we won 1-0 down early in the game, had to chase the game, played a 4-5-1. So we expected similar things. And they made life hard for us, to be honest, but that's obviously the job to do. And with being 1-0 down, it changed a little bit. The mood in the game there, get more confident. We rush it in moments. So it was now not that we had like 15, 16 clear-cut chances, but we scored really good goals. And so I'm really pleased in that period of the year and that moment of the year where you have to get through these games. I'm really pleased.
And it took a Trent rocket to calm it all down.
I told him after the game was the best long ball he played today. So because it was absolutely what a stunner, unbelievable, what a great goal. Yeah, the boy has his shooting technique is absolutely different, a completely different level. But that's the main thing in games like this: staying positive, staying like offensive-minded in moments like this. Like just take a chance, and that's what he did in that moment. And obviously, the outcome with a little. Thank God, Mike Dean is good on his leg, so he could get in a safe place. Yeah. So great goal.
The Jota goal. Newcastle are very unhappy, 2 players on the ground as the ball went in. What's your view on this?
I didn't see it back. I heard it now plenty of times because I was now just in a room where I saw Eddie's interview and saw that he is obviously not happy about that situation. I didn't see it back. The situations both got up later. I don't say it was in this situation like it, but really quite frequently players go down when they're in the box when they lose a challenge. So and I don't know if I didn't see it. If they knocked each head to each other, I don't know. The assistant on my side told me no, all good. The 2 players of them bouncing each other. So, but I didn't see it back.
We usually mention Mo Salah somewhere in this. He's actually equalled a record today, 15 goals and assists in a sequence. That matches Jamie Vardy, and that's not a bad record to have, particularly the assists.
Yeah. So that's quite amazing that he has incredible numbers scoring goals, but the assists are really as important, we all know. And so I think today it was right to take him off a little bit. Usually it's the time for more. The last 10-15 minutes you could see in his face he was obviously was not overly pleased with that decision. But we play in 3 days again, hopefully, and that means that I think these 15 minutes did him pretty well.
There's a long way to go this season, and of course Chelsea drew tonight, which is probably welcome news, but I suppose we're trying to predict the weekend. That's the biggest problem, isn't it, at the moment? 5 fixtures are down and you're playing Spurs at the weekend, so there's a big question mark just for this weekend as well.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a really tricky situation. Yeah? So it's like a little bit mirroring the situation in the world. Nobody knows exactly what will be tomorrow and these kind of things. And we will go to AXA, to the training center, and until people tell us otherwise. So that's the situation. Today was a really strange day. I never had that on match day. 3 players all of a sudden. So we had the -1 session where they were involved, and then overnight they were not involved anymore. So that's obviously is not cool. But the most important thing is because the boys are vaccinated, that they will go through that probably. Yeah, they will not feel it really. That's good. But anyway, we have to wait now a little bit for them. And the problem is, I know there's a question there if we should stop the league and stuff like this. I have not a real answer for it. If that would be the answer, I would say yes. But the problem is if we stop it for 2 weeks and then we come back, yes, the training grounds are then probably clean, but we can do that overnight as well. But then the situation is still out there. So I really don't know exactly what to do. When I saw, for example, that the Everton lineup today, I was like, okay, I don't know. Half of the players that play there, and playing then the game anyway is tough. And we coming up now. Let me say, we have now 3 players out for COVID reasons. Probably they will get tested tomorrow again. If it was false positive, they are back in. But if not, then they're still out. If we have again another 3-4 players out in the next few days, we play Shrewsbury in a midweek. What I heard is in League One and League Two, players are not really vaccinated, so nobody looks at that. So that's a tricky one. Then a few days later, we play 26 and 28, and if you have 13 players available, they have to play 26. That's absolutely not possible. It's anyway really difficult, but then it's not possible. So there are obviously plenty of questions we need to find answers for, but I don't have the solution in the moment.
Thank you, Jurgen.
Welcome.
A valiant attempt. You stayed in the game, and I mean, defeat must hurt, but there's a lot to be pleased with as well.
Yeah, I was really pleased with the lads' effort and commitment to the game today. I think I'm really disappointed by the first goal, Liverpool's first goal. Need to see it again, but it was clear to me that I think it was Isaac went down holding his head immediately.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, the game should have been stopped. 2
players down.
Yeah, 2 players down in the middle of our 6-yard box, and I think it's had a huge bearing on the game because we had the lead. That was obviously our game plan was going to be one. We're going to have long spells without the ball. We knew we were going to need to be really diligent in our defending, and scoring the goal almost suited the way that we had set up to play. But as soon as you concede and then the crowd are in the game and it feels unjust, I think it was doubly hard on our players.
Did that happen so quickly that there wasn't time to react, or was the referee unsure it was a head injury, just a collision?
I think he said to me that he felt Isaac had held his back. For me, Isaac immediately held his head. He was dazed for 4 or 5 minutes after the game. I think it's a dangerous moment where we have to think of the player's safety. But not only that, we're severely in a really difficult position with 2 players down in our box, and I don't think you want to see games decided when you have players out of the game.
It was a big call not to start with Callum Wilson, but the early goal, the game plan clearly was working then.
Yeah, it was a case of just trying to look after Callum and protect him. We know how important he is for us. We've got a very busy schedule of games, a lot of tight fixtures crammed in, and it was a case of obviously understanding his history and knowing him that we felt this was a wise game just for him to miss out. But Alan did really well on his own up front and caused them problems, as we thought he would do, with his dribbling ability and his pace. We had a really good chance, I think, to make it 2-0. I think if I'm right, the scoreline was 1-0 to us at that moment. He went long spells without the ball, but did a diligent job, as did the team, and I was really pleased with the players today.
And you were still in the game in the second half until the Trent strike.
Yeah, and there's not a lot you can do about that. But Liverpool were going to have potential for long shots, but you've got one of the best strikers of a ball in world football, and he's hit it brilliantly. There's nothing we could do at that moment. Disappointing because second half I felt our shape was better. I thought we were a little bit more aggressive, got further up the pitch, but we just didn't have the quality needed to break Liverpool down.
Manchester City next on the schedule, but a couple of concerns. Jamal Lewis and Sir Maximin look like they're injured.
Yeah, I don't know what the situation is with Alain. I need to speak with him. I wasn't sure whether there was a knock or a tightness in the muscle. With Jamal, it looks like a hamstring strain, so that looks like he'll be out.
Thank you, Eddie.
Thank you.
More of a battle than many predicted. I mean, you had to work hard for that win, didn't you?
Yeah, I think we limited them to little chances. We kind of knew the game would flow like that. We'd dominate possession, and they come and make it hard for us and counter-attack and look for set pieces and things like that. So it was always going to be a difficult one for us. But and obviously them showing an early goal made it harder. Disappointed with the clean sheet, but 3 points at this time of the season is vitally important.
Kind of nervy though when you're 2-1 up in the second half, and they weren't giving up, were they? But you sunk them with a scorcher, did you say?
I've been waiting for that 5 years now, waiting to clean like that. I've had a few ones from near the edge of the box, and I've dragged them and things like that, and I've caught that one sweet. And I was just nestled in the top corner. It was a clean strike, and obviously kind of put the game to bed.
You mentioned that early fright with the John Shelby goal. Then, of course, Jota scores. Newcastle seem to be not happy, shall we say. Let's talk about the goal. And the 2 players on the ground. That's the right point.
Look, when you're playing, you don't really, when the game's flowing like that, you're in and around their box. You're not really looking at who's on the ground, who's up. You're kind of looking for your teammates trying to score. Your eyes are not focused on the ground. But if it's head injuries, it's down to the ref to stop it. At the end of the day, he hasn't done that. We've played to the whistle and we went and scored. That's all you can really do. We haven't cheated the game. We haven't done anything unsportsmanlike. We've played to the whistle and went and scored from it.
Mo Salah scores again. another record for him. He's done 15 games of assists and goals in a consecutive sequence, which is up with Jamie Vardy. It's crazy, isn't it? 22 goals before Christmas. That's mad.
Yeah, that's exactly how you can describe it. It's mad. You know, he's a best player in the world right now. Goes without saying. He's scoring or creating or doing everything. Game in, game out. He's having an incredible season. You know, I think that's on his mind. He wants to break every record in the book. He wants to go and put his name in the history books. He's doing that. He's done that from the first season he come in. And he hasn't took his foot off the pedal, so he'll be looking to break every record he can again.
There's relentless pressure at the top of the table, and you've got to keep going, of course. But Chelsea dropped 2 points tonight, which is always welcome, I'm sure, from a Liverpool perspective.
Yeah, it's obviously don't want the teams around you to be doing well, but again, the focus is on us. I think this time of the season, it's about making sure we're consistent, making sure we're winning every game we can. Because the games come so thick and fast that you know, any minor slip can prove costly come April, May. So it's about this time of the season, making sure we pick up as many points as we can, and we've done that so far, but we need to keep going.
And the preparations were disrupted a bit with COVID tests. Fingers crossed that everything goes well this week. Yeah, I mean, hopefully, you know, we're focused on our football. Until we're told otherwise, we'll be in there every day, recovery again tomorrow, and making sure we're fit for Sunday. You know, we've got a big game going down to Tottenham. It'll be an interesting one, but all we can do is focus on that and prepare for the game. Well done, Trent.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And you know, I often think we talk about this being the most watched league in the world, yeah, the Premier League. And I think, well, all those managers, those foreign managers, can't be watching it, because to have him as 7th place in the Ballon d'Or, they really can't be watching the Premier League.
Absolutely. Nothing wrong with the decision-making with that goal there, was there?
No, not at all. Not at all. No, I mean, he's an awesome player, obviously. And the point that I was making before you take it out anymore, was that he didn't have a decision.
No, he didn't.
It was just one. It's when there's 50-50, then of course we saw a couple of, well, highlighted a couple before the game where you think he could have made a better decision, but there was no decision to be made there. Stick it in the back of the net, and he does that perfectly.
Just being obstinate,
I know.
Mike. It's 15 consecutive goals or assists then for Mohamed Salah, and that takes him equal with Jamie Vardy's record, incidentally. In terms of most English top-flight wins, well, there they are. Liverpool ahead of Arsenal in second, and some considerable gap in between those two. But Liverpool going from strength to strength under Jurgen Klopp. And I suppose in terms of the title race, I just wonder now, are we a little bit clearer as to the overall picture, with still so much to go through between now and May?
I don't think we're clear. I mean, of course, Chelsea have had a little bit of a trip up tonight, and they can't afford a big trip up in the next game, because going 7 points behind Manchester City, 6 points behind Liverpool, that's a lot of catching up to do. So they're still in the race, of course they are, still a 3-horse race, but you'd have to say that Liverpool and Manchester City have just gone ahead of them in the betting, let's say.
Yeah, OK. And that's where we're going to have to leave today's programme. Thanks to Michael. Les, good to see you, as always. The onus was, of course, on Liverpool and Chelsea to try and repeat what City did. Liverpool certainly did their bit. Bye for now.